Hi again, I'm Melissa from SoGoSurvey, and I'm here to talk to you again about communication. That's right, communication about communication. And this time, we're flipping from the internal communication we talked about last time to external communication. You know, the stuff out there. So let's take a look at what's going on in this side of the world in terms of your next external communication audit. Last time we checked in on the importance of an internal communication audit because your internal strategies sometimes aren't as strong as your external strategies. External strategies, however, still need to be revisited as well, and that's why we're doing this audit today. So start by thinking about what's going on externally. When you think about a lot of ad hoc communication, seemingly unstrategic, think about the impression that that creates with your audience. They can become confused, of course, annoyed even, or even totally critical, and that's just to name 3. When you think about this issue, the point is, what's getting through? What's the impression that you're creating? Is it communication? Is it noise? If it's not getting through in the first place, of course, that's a totally different issue. But you need to make sure that you're checking in with your audience, first of all, of course, to make sure they're getting the message and making sure that it's the right message that you intend to send. One key question to start with: how satisfied are you with the communication you receive? If you decide just to narrow this entire audit down just to one question, this is the question. You could use a poll, you can use whatever you want, a satisfaction scale, or you could get a little bit more specific. Satisfaction with frequency, the channel of distribution, the content type, or anything about the style as well. So in short, this is one key question to start with. Even if you end with it, that's okay too. And remember that you can drill down a little deeper too. Another question that's really smart to ask is, how effective is the communication you receive? And think about what you mean by this. You might decide to define what you mean here by effectiveness: clarity, style, visual and language choices, purpose, maybe a CTA. How useful is the information? Maybe it's effective, but people don't feel like it's relevant or important to them. If it's not useful, they might start to sort of, their eyes might glaze over a little bit the next time they see a message from you. They think, oh, that's not important. You want to make sure that this is relevant to that specific person to the greatest extent possible. Everyone wants to receive individualized mail, and in the absence of that, sometimes we do use all kinds of email tools very often, or distribution, polls, surveys, forms, whatever it is that we're trying to use to interact with people too. But we want to make sure that it seems as personalized as possible. Next, what kind of communication? Maybe there's something that you want to find out, you're afraid to ask. Just ask. It's always better to ask. If you feel that your heart's gonna be broken if somebody clicks on subscribe, you might be in the wrong business. Stay calm. It just means that they might not be the right target customer. It might not be the right target audience for you or your business, or there's something that you need to change about your messaging as well. So as a consumer, we know that we like this control, that we can pick and choose the kinds of things that we'd like to hear about. Think about alerts, invitations, those kinds of things that are important to you. You want to find out right away. But there's some other things, maybe you're not interested in special offers, for example. So ideally, you're giving your audience the opportunity to pick and choose. And finally, a really big one here is, so what do you think of the organization? So again, this is entirely, in this case, we're saying focused based on the communication you receive. What's your perception? This is a really good start for a future follow-up. Could be about brand awareness, identity, anything like that. But just for a few words is a really good starting point here too. You can say, what are some of the keywords that stand out to you, or which of these do you associate with this brand? There are a lot of good ways to ask this question and still get quality information. Another key question, if you just wanted a bonus extra credit question, we'll call it, are you even the right person to have this conversation with? Sometimes we know that databases have really good data, but it might be not the relevant data in this case. Maybe it's a billing address, for example, as opposed to the person who's actually your user or your end customer. And in that case, that person doesn't really have any vested interest to make sure that they're interacting with your messaging or communication, so your real target user might never really be hearing from you. If you have some thoughts or other suggestions on how you run an external communication audit, we'd love to hear from you. Just drop us a line and continue the conversation. Thanks so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon. In the meantime, connect with us on social media at SoGoSurvey or visit our website, SoGoSurvey.com. See you next time.